I'm Veronica Dudo. Tonight on EWTN News Nightly, top brass on the hot seat after a controversial boat strike in September. An admiral goes before Congress. The one question lawmakers want answered. Plus, a truly iconic saint, how the saint we celebrate today saved one of our most treasured devotions. These stories and more right now.
From EWTN, the Global Catholic Network, this is EWTN News Nightly.
Thank you for being with us on the Feast of St. John of Damascus. Our top story tonight, who gave the order for the second attack that targeted two survivors on a boat allegedly carrying narcotics in the Caribbean? That's the question leaders of the Armed Services Committees in Congress hope to get answered today after a classified briefing with Navy Admiral Frank Bradley, the commander who oversaw the operation. Let's check in with Capitol Hill correspondent Eric Rosales with the latest. Eric.
Well, good evening, Veronica. It's great to be with you. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth was already under fire, as we know, after the DOD's Inspector General issued a report saying that Hegseth jeopardized national security and even put service members in danger by communicating on an unsecure app. But today the focus was on the September 2nd boat strike in the Caribbean. Lawmakers heard about the specifics of the operation, and they say that they were troubled about what they saw and heard.
What I saw in that room was one of the most troubling things I've seen in my time in public service. You have two individuals in clear distress, without any means of locomotion, with a destroyed vessel, who were killed by the United States.
According to U.S. officials, Hegseth ordered a strike with the intent to, quote, kill the people on the boat and destroy the vessel. This order was interpreted by some experts as potentially leading to the killing of survivors, which would violate international law. Hegseth later stated that he only observed the first strike via live video feed before leaving for another meeting and did not personally see the second strike and claims the order came from the admiral. He attributed the confusion to the fog of war. But some lawmakers say the Secretary of War is passing the buck.
Pete Hegseth needs to understand that sending in an admiral or other people to take responsibility for his decisions is the coward's way out. And so we need to hear from the Secretary directly about where he was, what his role was.
I don't like to see political figures pointing their finger at military figures. Military people take orders, and there's a question about, when they don't take orders, whether things are legal or not legal. But in this sense, it looks to me like they're trying to pin the blame on somebody else and not them.
Democrats want the Trump administration to release the full video of the September 2nd attack, as well as all written records of the orders from Hegseth.
What we need now really is subpoenas for all of the records, including the videos, transcripts of oral communications, the executive order that Hegseth issued. I'm very fearful we're going to see loss of records.
While some Republicans have questioned the strikes, others came to Hegseth's defense.
As long as there's part of that vessel, it was a viable, lawfully targeted enemy combatant vessel. That is a terrorist. Those folks have been designated as terrorists by the State Department, and they're viable targets.
So far, it is estimated that more than 80 people have been killed in the series of strikes, which started back in September. But the question remains, will Secretary Hegseth keep the support of Donald Trump? Now, both Republicans on the Senate and House Armed Services Committee are calling for open investigations, which is rare. And several Democrats told me that Hegseth may not have been in the room, but he was in the loop, and he was the one who gave the order which initiated the deaths of these survivors. All of them tell me that this investigation is just beginning. At the Capitol, Eric Rosales, EWTN News Nightly.
Archbishop Timothy Broglio of the Archdiocese of the Military Services has released a statement on the boat strikes, recalling the chaplain's duty to share the truth. The statement reads in part, quote, "In the fight against drugs, the end never justifies the means, which must be moral in accord with the principles of the just war theory and always respectful of the dignity of each human person." He ended by calling on the nation's leaders to not ask armed forces to engage in immoral actions. President Trump welcomes the leaders of the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda to Washington to sign off on a peace deal. He calls it a great day for Africa and a great day for the world. Congo has been battered by a decades-long conflict, the fighting involving more than 100 armed groups, a humanitarian crisis displacing millions of people. In July, an attack on a Catholic church left 31 people dead, raising the alarm about the insecurity of Christians in the region. White House correspondent Owen Jensen reports. Owen.
President Donald Trump often speaks of the several wars around the globe he says he stopped, including now Eastern Congo in Africa. And today the president said begins a new era of harmony and cooperation.
At the Institute of Peace in Washington, which the State Department earlier announced has been rebranded the Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace, President Trump and the leaders of Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo make it official.
In this holy season, we prepare to celebrate the birth of the Prince of Peace. We have come to the U.S. Institute of Peace to sign a historic agreement that will end one of the longest-running conflicts anywhere in the world, with far more than 10 million people killed.
The pact follows months-long peace efforts by the U.S. and partners, including the African Union and Qatar, and finalizes an earlier deal signed in June. Today, President Trump presenting the Washington Accords,
including a permanent ceasefire, the disarmament of non-state forces, provisions for refugees to return to their homes.
I do feel, on behalf of the people of Congo, a deep gratitude and clear hope.
These accords provide everything needed to end this conflict once and for all.
But the Trump-brokered peace is precarious. The conflict escalated this year, and there are horrific accounts of the faithful being slaughtered. Just last month, during his Sunday prayers at the Vatican, Pope Leo prayed for an end of the violence.
I accompany in prayer the families in Kivu in the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Meanwhile, the pact will also build on a regional economic integration framework. The region, rich in critical minerals, Washington looking for ways to acquire rare earths, essential to manufacturing fighter jets, cell phones, and more.
There's tremendous wealth in that beautiful earth. It's beautiful earth, but it was stained badly with blood.
Also tonight, in this season of Peace on Earth, just 3 weeks until Christmas, President Trump and the First Lady will participate in the national Christmas tree lighting. At the White House, Owen Jensen, EWTN News Nightly.
After a nearly 5-year investigation, the FBI has made an arrest in the case of the pipe bombs placed near the U.S. Capitol complex before the January 6, 2021 riots. Attorney General Pam Bondi identified the man as Brian Cole Jr. from Woodbridge, Virginia, solving a mystery that has long troubled federal investigators and fueled various conspiracy theories. The potentially lethal pipe bombs were placed on January 5, 2021, near the headquarters of both the Democratic and Republican National Committees. While no one was injured and the devices were rendered safe, the FBI has stated the devices had the potential to be deadly.
This is in our nation's capital where this happened. And now, thanks to the FBI, we know that this defendant was living just miles away from here in Virginia. Let me be clear, there was no new tip, there was no new witness, just good, diligent police work and prosecutorial work, working as a team along with ATF, Capitol Police, Metropolitan Police Department, and of course, the FBI.
Today begins the formal process of accountability, where this defendant will begin his journey through the criminal justice system. And I pledge to you that the United States Attorney's Office will take this case across the finish line.
In Georgia, a minor detour and a crucial vote on vaccine schedules for kids.
Okay, so the motion has been made and passed that the vote shall be delayed until it can be rescheduled tomorrow morning.
The CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices is meeting today and tomorrow. The main focus is on the hepatitis B vaccine. The committee will vote on whether to continue recommending that shot for all children or delaying the first dose. It's become a target for many, including Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who says the dosage could cause autism. Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived in New Delhi today for a state visit aimed at strengthening ties with India. He was received warmly by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ahead of tomorrow's 23rd India-Russia summit. Talks are expected to focus heavily on deepening defense cooperation, including India pushing for the delivery of the S-400 missile system, as well as increasing economic trade currently skewed by Russian oil imports. This visit comes at a delicate time. India is trying to balance its historic relationship with Moscow while navigating pressure from the U.S. and the EU over the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. In the Middle East, remains of another hostage have been released, leaving just one more hostage in Gaza. Israeli officials said today that the remains handed over yesterday were those of a Thai agricultural worker. He was killed in the attack on October 7th, 2023. Now, Israeli Ran Guvili is the latest hostage. Remains have yet to be returned. He was a police officer who helped people escape from the Nova Music Festival. He was killed the day of the attack. We have a lot more still to come on EWTN News Nightly. Labor market layoffs, how the job market set historic records this year. And we hear the latest on immigration crackdowns from a priest on the ground in New Orleans.
Beginning November 1st, EWTN is launching new YouTube channels dedicated to what you love most. From EWTN News, Daily Mass and Devotions, and EWTN Shows, to EWTN Radio, Religious Catalog, and EWTN Kids. It's all part of our mission to help you grow closer to God through the programs that matter most to you. On November 1st, visit our main YouTube channel, explore the new navigation bar, and subscribe to the channels that speak to your heart. Wherever you are on your journey of faith, there's an EWTN channel made for you.
The U.S. saw a drop in job cuts last month. American employers announced just over 71,000 layoffs in November. That's according to the firm Challenger Gray and Christmas. It's roughly half the amount of job cuts from October. The fields that saw the most job losses in November include telecommunications, technology, and food. Analysts say nearly 1.2 million jobs were cut so far this year. That's the highest amount recorded in a January through November stretch since 2020. Tensions are rising in New Orleans over the latest immigration enforcement blitz dubbed Operation Catahoula Crunch. Look at the scene. A New Orleans City Council meeting went into recess this morning after protests erupted. One person was forcefully carried out of the room. U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commander-at-Large Greg Bovino is leading the operation of about 200 federal agents. The Department of Homeland Security said the federal crackdown targets illegal immigrants who are arrested for crimes and then subsequently released due to sanctuary policies. DHS is aiming to make 5,000 apprehensions of criminals arrested for rape and armed robbery. The New Orleans City Council has launched an online portal for locals to report civil and human rights abuses by ICE agents and Custom and Border Patrol paramilitary units. The incoming mayor said the webpage was created because his citizens have a right to know what federal immigration officers are doing in their city. Father Luis Duarte is the pastor at St. Jerome Catholic Church in Kenner, a suburb of New Orleans. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Carol. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be with you today.
What impact is this operation having on your community?
Actually, yeah, from the last previous 2 weeks, we have been having like fear among the Hispanic community. This is the St. Jerome in Kenner is the largest Hispanic community in the Archdiocese of New Orleans. So the Hispanic community, they are very fearful. Actually, an hour ago, yeah, we had a case of one of our parishioners who was arrested without any like criminal record, just because he doesn't have documents. So the people are really afraid of everything going on. It looks, the city looks really, really sad. Yeah, and the people, the communities is very fearful right now. They don't want to come to church or they don't want to go out to anything, even to send their children to schools. Mm-hmm.
Now, you have decided to cancel some group activities at your church. Can you tell us why?
Yes, I postponed some activities and we created right now hybrid programs. So, for example, tonight and last Tuesday, we are always open. I told the people the church is open. We are gonna continue operating, and we are gonna offer hybrid classes and programs and all the groups. I told all the groups to use Zoom meetings, and so we can continue praying for one another and building our community. We cannot stop doing that right now, especially in this time. We need to be together and we need to pray together. So they feel our support. So last Tuesday, from 120 children that we usually get every Tuesday for First Communion preparation, we got about 12, and the rest they were online. Yeah.
Now, the USCCB issued a statement that nations have the right to protect their borders and citizens, but called for dignity in doing so. How are you following this message in your community?
Yeah, this is something we have cards and everything to let people know that they have rights, and that is what we ask. Because we know that every country has the responsibility actually to do that, to regulate the borders and the immigration policies. However, the fact that those things are going on, because I just received the video of one of my parishioners. He wasn't doing anything wrong, and the way they are operating right now, it is not a human way. So that is what we are denouncing right now, and we ask for a human way to do and to implement these immigration policies. Yeah, because they are humans and they have human rights. We need to protect that, and as a church, we recognize that. Mm-hmm.
It is a complicated issue for the church, for governments. Of course, a lot of people have been talking about wanting comprehensive immigration reform, and then that gets kicked over to Congress. Do you have a message right now for lawmakers or for anyone who's listening?
It is just to remember that when the law, it is always to the service of human beings. It is not above. So it is to serve the community. And we need to remember always that everything comes from God. He's the ruler and the king of all things. And we should never forget something like that every person in this planet, they have rights. They have families. They are humans. And for that reason, they need to be respected. That dignity must be respected everywhere.
Before we let you go, have any federal agents entered your church?
No. I hope they don't, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Father Luis Duarte, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. May God bless you all.
A months-long fight over redistricting in Texas has reached the Supreme Court. Now, state candidates are waiting to see which maps to use for midterm elections. The Supreme Court is responding to an appeal made by the state governor after the state court said the new map illegally gerrymandered districts by race. The High Court will decide whether to keep the current map, which could give Republicans 5 more seats, or stay with the old one. A decision is expected within the next few months. Up next on EWTN News Nightly, iconic saint, learn how today's saint fought the heresy surrounding religious icons. Plus, meet the Scottish schoolboys who went viral for Christmas caroling. Cardinal Pierre Battista Pizzaballa is in Detroit right now for a 4-day pastoral visit. The National Catholic Register's senior editor, Jonathan Liedl, got a chance to sit down with the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem for an interview.
You yourself are something of a missionary. You were born in Italy, yet you spent now decades in the Holy Land.
Almost 40.
Almost 40 years, okay. So during that time, how has, you spoke earlier so beautifully about the significance of that here, right, that the Holy Land is the place where the incarnation happened, where the universal became particular. And in your own faith, in your own identity, yes, as a pastor, as a bishop, as a cardinal, but also just as a Christian, how has that been shaped by your experience in the Holy Land?
A lot. I mean, the life in Holy Land shaped a way anew in my faith, also my vocation, if I may say. I mean, I grew up, I said this several times, I'm repeating myself. I feel I'm repeating myself continuously. But anyway, I grew up in a small village in northern Italy where we were Catholic even before birth, that time. Not anymore now, but when I was born. And then I entered in a Franciscan monastery very, very young. So all my life was in a very clear Catholic, very Catholic, hyper-Catholic, if I may say, context. Then I arrived in Holy Land where Catholics are almost non-existent from a numerical point of view. And so the relations with the not only non-Catholic, non-Christians, the questions of the non-Christians, Jews and Muslims about my faith forced me to rethink my faith. Because their questions had never been my questions. I was told when I was young in Italy, what are the questions, what are the answers? But I was not ready to answer to their questions. So I was forced to rethink my faith. In a way, those who do not believe in Jesus deliver to me a new face of Jesus. And this is wonderful.
And you can see more of Cardinal Pizzaballa's interview tomorrow on EWTN News Nightly. A viral holiday hit is sweeping social media. A group of schoolboys in Scotland have become internet sensations.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day, I gave it away.
The reason? Doorbell footage captured them singing Christmas carols outside a home in Denny, Falkirk. The heartwarming clip quickly racked up over 1.5 million views. According to one of the young stars, it's to just spread the Christmas cheer. Living up to that spirit, the boys recently traveled to Glasgow to perform a gig and raise funds for a local hospice. Today, the church celebrates the feast of St. John of Damascus, commonly known as St. John Damascene. St. John was born in Damascus, Syria, to a prominent Christian family in 676. He received a classical and theological education and joined a monastery near Jerusalem. During his life, iconoclasm broke out in the East, the belief that religious icons were idolatrous, leading to their widespread destruction. St. John argued that through the incarnation of Christ, God made the divine physical, and so icons are aids in meditation on the divine mystery, not idols. Iconoclasm would eventually fade away, and the beloved practice is still a mainstay in the Orthodox and Roman Catholic churches. St. John Damascene, pray for us. We thank you for watching tonight. Remember, you can follow us on social media, Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram at EWTN News Nightly. I'm Veronica Dudo. Good night and God bless.